Well, the Mind Melter Friday is finally here. Finally, man. Been talking about this for a long time in Discord. Long time. Mind Melter Friday being Honor Killed the Samurai by Ka, immediately followed by Donuts by J Dilla. So that's what's going to happen today. So if you're seeing this video and you're not realizing, because it's months later or whatever, 2 parts. This will be one video. Donuts right after. The idea being is this album, from what I've been told, is very lyrically, I don't want to say intense, but just lyrically heavy, right? So lots to process and chew on, which is great. I love lyrics. I was doing a little bit of reading about this album, and just in Wikipedia. I don't watch videos or anything like just in Wikipedia to get some idea. And on the reviews, there's a quote from a review in Wikipedia about the album where the person says that most people will probably find this album boring, but it isn't. You just have to pay attention. Perfect. I mean, that's just like everything I love, right there. So I expect this to be a little bit more mellow, but the process being go through lyrics and work on these lyrics and 10 tracks, 36 minutes. The album itself was fairly short, but it's probably going to be a longer video because of the lyrics. And then drop into Dilla's Donuts, just instrumental, knowing where he was in his life, in the hospital, dying, working on this, and just see where I go with sound after that. So that's the whole idea behind Mind Melter Friday. And I'm finally fucking here. I say it all the time. The hardest part about this channel is choosing the albums. And I've been wanting to do this for months. So those of you who are out there going, God, why doesn't he do this? Why doesn't he do that? I know your pain, because even I put my own personal, desires kind of back so I can do other albums that seem to be more popular or more requested or whatever. What was I going to say? I can't remember. There's something else I was going to say. Oh, I want to talk about the cover. The cover is already brilliant, in my opinion. So if you look at the cover, there's like 3 different ways you can look at it, in my opinion. One, if you focus on the white, it looks like kind of a monster. This could be the eye section. This could be the nose and the mouth, obviously. And so the monster is either speaking something or consuming this, whatever this is. You could kind of almost look at it in terms of like, this is the monster and this is the samurai. You almost look at this as like a monument, but more so, this looks like a grave. Like an open grave, like you're in the grave and this is the open portion of the grave and you're looking up at your own tombstone, which is pretty killer. And the name of the album, Honor Killed the Samurai, is already brilliant as well, just because think about the idea of having like a code of ethics or morality or whatever that you follow. And there are people who will not follow that code. And there are people who will go out of their way to exploit those who have that code and live by that code. So that own code will kill you. There's a great line in one of my favorite movies of all time. And I forget the name. No Country for Old Men. And towards the end, these 2 characters meet, and the villain meets, this other guy. And they know each other. And the other guy has a little bit more of a moral compass, I suppose, than the villain. But the villain asks him, if the rules you followed led you to here, because basically the villain's about to kill him, right? If the rules you followed led you to here, of what use was the rule? It's a fair question, like if you adopt these ideas, these standards, whatever you want to call them, and then they lead you to a point of despair or death or failure, what use was the code itself? More so for me, Honor Killing the Samurai, it just makes me think of structures and institutions that, and I'm not going to harp on religion, but this is present in religion, where they tell you, be humble and be happy with the little that you have and know that the greater is coming. And those who are rich and wealthy, they're the ones that are gonna, they'll get nothing in the end. And you're really getting the extra added awesome thing, right? So and no violence. And it's like, God, this just feels like a great way to suppress people. I'm not saying any of the teachings are like good or bad, right? Or I'm not saying any of that. Okay, I'm not saying anybody should or should not believe what they do or don't believe, whatever. I'm just saying if you look at it from that perspective of, wow, here's all these rules telling the poor and oppressed to basically not rise up and just let the rich people be rich. There are people who will use that as a way to exploit those who are, you know, suffering, basically. Anyway, it's going to be one of those videos. One of those. Oh, yeah, I'm wearing, so I got some merch. I'm wearing my Chill Jam shirt right there. The merch is turning into a struggle. I've got issues. I'm working on them. But anyway, I just wanted to show that one off because it's fun. Also, too, I never talk about Patreon. Obviously, this is available on Patreon, Uncut. I've started posting my Uncut reactions in MP3 format as well, because a lot of people like to just listen. So Patreon's $2 a month. If you're interested in like having an MP3 format, you can get that via Patreon. There you go. Let's jump in. I'm excited. First track called Conflicted. I skipped over and looked at everything. All the production's done by Ka, so this is just a one-man show as far as I can tell. At least per Genius. I didn't look at the credits on Spotify, but Honor Killed the Samurai, the beginning of the Mind Melter weekend. It's funny, I was so excited and now I'm hesitating because I don't, like, here I am to experience the thing I've been waiting for. Now it's here. I'm like, well, no, I don't want to, you know, it's like, do we really open the 20-year-old bottle of whiskey? Because now it's gone after that. But all right, it's ridiculous. Let's just be present and enjoy it. And I know I will, but I'm also just kind of savoring this moment right here. I'm right here. All right, let's jump in. Track 1's called Conflicted.
いつまでも牢行にあれ。座して死を待ちうれば潔く腹かっさばりて武士らしい最後を遂げたい。
These were known as samurai.
I'm not expecting a lot from the production side, but I do like that there's already an aesthetic coming into play.
Strain obtained so I could give more. Most dangerous and there was nothing to live for. For that fatty bag ready to let the six pour. Was on nothing long enough, need a big score. The home of me dreaming had me constantly scheming. Really peace and belly a beast, armed like a demon. Singing tough upbringing, swore it was the hardest. A lot of years starving before I was an artist. Mommy told me be a good boy. Need you alive, please survive, you my hood joy. Pops told me stay strapped, son. Need a shotty, be a body and catch one.
Ooh, wow.
Always been conflicted. Always been conflicted. Wow.
I am gonna I'll probably go through every single fucking line on this album. So if you're not into that, sorry. Got that. So I'm trying to think of, okay, Conflicted, the samurai theme. Some of the stuff I was talking about before, about these codes and ethics. The track's called Conflicted. I strained to obtain so I could give more. Most dangerous when there was nothing to live for. Which, of course, right? When you got nothing to lose, that's when you're the most dangerous. For the Fetty bag, ready to let the six pour. What's the Fetty bag? I don't know what that is. Oh, money. Okay. Ready to let the six pour. Spray bullets. Sure. Six shooter. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm bored with that. For the Fetty bag. So ready to shoot to get some money. Was on nothing long enough, need a big score. The harmony dreaming had me constantly scheming, rarely peace, and belly of the beast, armed like a demon. I like that one. I like that one. Because there are demons, right? In have multiple arms, right? Isn't that a thing? Maybe not. Singing tough upbringing, swore it was the hardest. A lot of years starving before I was an artist. When bringing tomorrow, the sorrow plus the hurt. When bringing tomorrow, the sorrow plus the hurt. We finally eat and reap and it's just dessert. I think there's a lot of wordplay right here already. When bringing tomorrow, the sorrow plus the hurt. We're finally eating, reaping. It's just dessert. Justice being reaped. Yeah, just desserts is a phrase used when somebody gets what they deserve. Right, right. Call plays on the fact that a dessert is something you eat. Yep. Okay. Yep. It's just. So trust my work from dust to dirt. I like that. I like that. Instead of dust till dawn, from dust until I die. Like you're not going to survive the night type of thing. Committed rhymes, if you give it time, much is learned. Firm, dense, but earned strength with a young stock. Brought hammers to grammar school, hence the gun talk. What is that about? Grammar school means different things in different parts of the world, sure. A hammer is a gun. Taking a gun to high school is a sign that's a rough school. Okay, I've never heard that before, a hammer being a gun. Oh, I guess cock the hammer. The hammer on like a I don't know what kind of pistol you would call that. Huh. The coke drought made it a cesspool. What the hell is stale? Need a fresh jewel. Enthralled in crime, not more. Enthralled in crime, not more, but nah, less cruel. Attractive street where active eat, the less drool. I don't know. I speak brass tacks to my last axe. My gift might be missed if mixed with trash raps. And so I like this because, like I was saying with that review, how he's soft spoken. Actually, I don't think I said this in the review. There was also saying he's somewhat soft spoken. The production's pretty minimal, so it would come off as boring unless you're paying attention. And I think what he's saying here is I'm intentionally keeping the production low so you can pay attention to the words. The night's whole, slice your loaf if you ain't breaking bread. This is a great play too. The night's whole, because like a whole loaf of bread, so then you got to slice it. But if you ain't breaking it, they'll take your money if you're not an associate. Jesus, this is going to be very challenging. I'm going to miss so many things. Some hate, wait, and beg we take instead. And then this hook is great. Mom says, be a good boy. Need you alive. Please survive. You're my hood joy. Pop says, stay strapped. You need a shotty, be a body, or catch one. Wow. That's really good. Let's keep going.
Where you from? During what years? You from the slum where you was upstairs? What you seen? What you been through? Where your team? What your men do? And over your head, who won't defend you? Who won't defend you? Demonstrative. Did you pop where the monsters live? Your people pay for your mistakes, hope they comp your wins. From honor, I don't speak drama, I don't know about. I hold a pen and go in on how I was going out.
Cool sound.
Always been conflicted. I got my girl from all dope. Got my bad for pop dope forever. Always been conflicted.
The custom prevailed for young men.
Oh, so it folds over to the next track there. That was, it just rolls right into just. Always been conflicted. This verse 2 is pretty straightforward in the beginning. You know, where you're from, during what years, you know, what you see, what you've been through, all this other stuff, your team, who's going to defend you. To me, I take that as a kind of like, God, what was it off of Good Kid, Mad City? I can't remember what they were saying exactly. But basically, you know, oh, where your mama stay, where your grandmama stay, like basically where you're representing from. I don't know if this is too specific in terms of like if he's intentionally talking about gangs, but I have to assume so, I suppose. Anyway, you know, where are you from? More or less, right? I like this. So demonstrative gets you popped where the monsters live. So if you're loud and, you know, you're going to get fucking shot. Your people pay for your mistakes. Hope they comp your whiz. I don't know what that means. Compensate your wizard. I don't know. From honor, I don't speak drama. I don't know about. I hold the pen, ain't going. Know how. I hold the pen, ain't going. Know how it was going out. I don't know. Not blessed, divine. Want to live good the rest of mine. Fly rewards for my recordings. Don't stress the shine. Wrote the screenplay, direct and set design. They write in deadlines. I ain't pressed for time. This is the part I really liked. That haste makes waste. You sonder and slip, but I find when forming a script, let's ponder a bit. Love that. I love that. So he's talking about, you know, other people are putting themselves under deadlines. And I feel like this is a bit of a nod at the, or a stab at the music industry itself. Because you get a pin here, right? Where was it? Fly rewards for my recordings. Don't stress the shine. As in, you don't have to be the biggest star, the most famous, what have you, right? You're still going to get rewards. And he's talking about how he wrote the screenplay, direct, and set design. He did all the production on this. So in the sense, the reward is the fact that he gets to have artistic control. He's not stressed for time. He doesn't have these deadlines. He can take his time to create what he wants to create, which is something meaningful, when the other people, that haste makes waste, you sonder and slip. But he gets to ponder for a bit because it's just him, right? Fucking legit. Always been conflicted. Mom's telling him to just be a good boy and survive, and dad's telling him to better carry a shotgun. Because it's better to catch a body than be one. Wow. All right. Well, it does roll right into track 2, which is called Just. Here we
The
go.
custom prevailed for young men to practice music in order that this gentle art might alleviate the rigors of that inclement region.
Can't be pussy in a dog fight. The Lord don't forgive what the Lord might.
Good line.
Before it stops, pull up for shots till the score right. My boys in the tears, but they ain't ball, they all strike. Slow plays, no days, all night. When war rage, force blaze on sight. Shot for the stars, I'ma reach them one day. Left for dead, start moving rocks like Easter Sunday.
Nice.
Trying to get fly, on the slide, peep the runway. I keep it hands till that man speak of gunplay. Unfold my destiny. There's no one less than me. Behold my labor. There's no one greater. I plead a treat all just to get what we need. We did what we must. To get what we need, we did what we must.
This might be pretty easy in terms of pausing because it looks like it's verse, hook, verse. At least the first 2 songs have been. Lots going on in the lyrics. This is called Just. It opens with this intro about, a custom prevailed for young men to practice music in order that this gentle art might alleviate the rigors of that inclement region, right? To help calm yourself down, not be so stressed out. Practice music. Can't be a pussy in a dogfight. The law don't forgive what the Lord might. Ooh, good line. I mean, that right there you could talk about for like 10 minutes, right? And, that's something that is, even though I kind of made a knock at religion at the beginning of the video, that is something good about most religious structure, in that there's forgiveness in place, but the law doesn't really have forgiveness. And that's an interesting contrast when you really start to think about that. The things that God will say you should not do and all this other stuff, but then you will be forgiven for if you ask, whereas the law, there is no forgiveness. Before it stops, pull off a shots till the score right. My boys in the tears, but they ain't ball, they all strike. Before it stops, this line right here, basically it's a shootout. Don't stop shooting until you kill who the fuck you need to kill to get even, right? My boys in the tears, but they ain't ball. They all strikes. That's a sports reference. My boys in the tears. I don't really get that. My boys in, let's see here. Double entendre, this can also be heard as my boys in tears. Yeah, I understand that. Meaning they mourn. Yeah. It makes me wonder if, because it's spelled Tiers, tears. My boys in the tears, but they ain't ball. They all strikes. I don't know. Slow plays, no days, all night. Like you're waiting. You're waiting to strike at night. You're waiting. When war rage, 4 blaze on sight. 4s blaze on sight. What does that mean? When beefing with another crew, handguns are employed. 4 is short for 4-pound, commentary for handgun. Okay, that makes sense. Shot for the stars, I'm reaching 1 tonight. Left for dead, start moving rocks like Easter Sunday. Oh, I fucking read that wrong. Shot for the stars, I'm going to reach him one day. Left for dead, start moving rocks. So did he like get killed or almost die and then basically resurrect, I don't know. Trying to get fly and slide, peep the runway. I like this line a lot. I keep at hands till that man's speaking gunplay, meaning he'll fight with his fist, but as soon as he's fine with doing that. He's not going to resort to gunplay right away, right? He'll fight someone face to face. All goes awry when that reason is ceased, and all foes could die. I'm back, squeezing a piece. Instantly regret that step. Instantly regret that step. Weaving the beast. And think about the previous track, being in the belly of the beast, armed like a demon. So this is the confliction, right? Instantly regrets having to pull out his gun. Want that dough to grow, seed is the yeast. All my wrongs is big shit I gotta live with. Was gun crazy, my 180 was a big flip. Then keeping it in the context of that little intro of practicing music to alleviate, the environment, the stresses of the environment. So I feel like what he's saying is he just did a complete 180 in his own life, in the sense of, okay, I'm not going to fucking, do this anymore in terms of gunplay. I'm not going to go out and do all that shit. I'm going to focus on writing, focus on music. Be caged without her, so the world is what my rib get. That's a play off of Adam and Eve, but I don't really understand. This is one of the several references to Ka's wife. Be caged without her would mean be in prison. If it wasn't for his wife, yeah, he'd be in prison. So here's what the annotation reads, part of it. Likewise, Ka credits his wife with helping to turn his life around, because he would be in an emotional prison without her. I think he'd be in a real prison, because remember, the law doesn't forgive what the Lord might. The gutter ending of a friend. I'm in the crib sick. So if buddy died, he dies laying in the gutter. He's home sick with it, over it. Was they preparing to take lives on account of from never ran? This man made great strides. Where they fight with pipe box cutters and steak knives. The gritty boots display city truth. I don't state lies. Was foul but never went to trial for a tribulation. That's an interesting line right there. So he did all these things, but he never went to trial. Banger rhyme. Thank you for your time and consideration. Unfold my destiny. There's no one less than him. Behold my labor. There's no one greater. I plead to treat all just. To get what we need, we did what we must. So he's looking back. He's looking back on his life right here in this track. And when I say these things, he's looking back on his life and reflecting. I don't know if this is true or not. I don't know the person. I don't know what he went through. I don't know. And so please don't. What I don't want to do is have people conflate what I'm getting from this into something of I'm making statements about the artist's life and what he's been through, because I don't know. This could be 100% fictional as far as I know. I'm not saying that it is or is not. I'm just pulling the story. That's it. All right, let's keep going. Verse 2.
I find a reason, you're still alive, breathing. I wanna heal my inner child, it's been a while grieving. One's dropped from cock Sammys, clap with the fours. Can't remember none of my members gone from natural cause. Never folly about who was body and who was spared. At first to know it's worse to show if you were scared. Coldest role model, if the masses wanna follow, it's going better. I hope I never had to blast another hollow. It's going better, I hope I never had to blast another hollow. I plead to treat all just to get what we need. We did what we must. To get what we need, we did what we must. To get what we need, we did what we must.
So it looks like each track folds into the next. So I'm just pausing. That's the end of Just. The production's kind of neat. It's not a flute, but it has that wind instrument style of sound, which is kind of neat because if you think about samurai and Japan and just the instruments that they use there and the idea of using music to alleviate the stresses of the environment and so on. Let's pour into verse 2 here. Trying to find a reason I'm still alive breathing. I want to heal my inner child. It's been a while grieving. One's dropped from cooked semis and clapped with the fours. Can't remember none of my members gone from natural cause. That's fucking legit right there. Everybody's dying from just getting shot. Nobody's dying of natural causes. This next bit is really good too. Never follied by who was bodied or who was spared. At first, you know, it's worse to show if you were scared. Never follied. As in, you know, what's folly? You know, mistake, right? So I never, or, well, that's not quite right. That's not quite right. Mistake. What does fucking folly mean? A bad mistake, maybe. Let's see what the annotation says. Yeah, I'm not going to read the annotation. Let's see if I can tackle this on my own here. Anyway, I think that one's fairly straightforward in the sense of, you know, never follied by who was bodied or who was spared, as in just kept going, right? Like, that didn't change anything in terms of what he was thinking, which in itself is probably a mistake, maybe. At first, you know, it's worse to show if he was scared. Quick to plague how victims beg, shooters swear. How crews manage to do damage, but few repaired. That shit's amazing right there. Victims beg and shooters swear. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to fucking kill you, right? Right? They swear they're going to kill you while the victims beg. And then the crew's doing damage, but they never do repair. That's fucking amazing. They say God gave you nothing you can't handle, so I haven't spotted a product I can't scramble. Back up a bottle, then they passed out his lotto. His number? That's got to be his number, right? I don't know what that means. Could be a Nas reference on the song Life's a Bitch when he says, that buck that bought a bottle could have struck the lotto. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, who's a contributor on that one? Sentenza? Yeah. I like that. I think he's fucking right on that one. That buck that bought a bottle could have struck the lotto. And then the call line is bag up a bottle, then they pass out the lotto. Maybe. Hold on. I gotta fucking... Throat's getting all clogged up. My family's sick. Both of them. They breed timid and then the speed limit gassed up the throttle. Coldest role model if the masses want to follow. It's going better. I hope I never have to blast another hollow. This line though, they breed timid and the speed limit gassed up the throttle. They breed timid. I don't know. And then it just concludes with, I hope I never have to blast another hollow. So basically the music is catching. It's going well. Hopefully he doesn't have to resort back to drugs and cooking up drugs and fucking shooting people and other shit. Okay. 2 for 2. Let's move on to track 3, which is called That Cold and Lonely. Here we go.
Not infrequently, a marching soldier might be seen to halt, take his writing utensils from his belt, and compose an ode.
I like the production on this so far. I really love how patient everything is, too.
In fact, you hear me? Clearly a modern marvel. Graciously played offerings, they try and starve you. I bathe replenished from my days of menace. Was true about my influence, the rage is in us. I dealt vicious for well wishes and naysayers. It's love. They got me from scrub to great player. Guess I was destined, my progression is evident. Want the best, so attest till I rest in the sediment. With steady pride, try to show you every side. I give it life, but right like I already died. That's what mold me that cold and lonely. Where they call you out, they know you phony. I'm live, that's what it look like. That's what it look like. That's what it look like.
Great production. This, in terms of the tracks, the sound, this one sounds the best so far, in my opinion. I really like the production on this one. Some great lines in here. All right, let's get into it. Fact you hear me, I'm clearly a modern marvel, right? It's a miracle he's alive. Graciously plating offerings, they try and starve you. Graciously plating offerings, I bathe, replenish from my days of menace. Was true by my influence, the rage is in us. I dealt vicious for well-wishers and naysayers. It's love, They got me from scrub to great player. Holy shit. Let's see. Let's see if I can make sense of this without clicking on annotations. There's a couple here that I can click, but let's see. Graciously played in offerings, then they try and starve you. I don't know. I bathe replenished for my days of menace. I feel like that line right there, I bathe replenished for my days of menace, is his way of saying I've washed myself of those days. I don't do that anymore. I'm clean from that. And now because of that, I've replenished my soul, my own, my own just physical state. I feel better. I'm cleaner from that, from not doing that anymore. Was true by my influence, the rage is in us. I dealt vicious for well-wishers and naysayers. It's love. They got me from scrub to great player. Let's click on this annotation because I'm not quite sure what he's going after here. He has much stronger and wiser. He has much stronger and wiser, not only because he was loved, but also because people told him he wouldn't amount to anything. Maybe, okay. Guess I was destined. My progression is evident. Want the best, so it tests till I rest in the sediment. I like that. So he's talking about I want to progress and become the best, and I'm going to keep going until I die, until I'm buried in the dirt, right, in the sediment, until I rest in the sediment. With steady pride, try to show you every side. I give it life, but write like I already died. I really like that. I really like that because that's kind of the ultimate reflection, right? When you're on your deathbed and you're looking back and you can be totally honest. So he's saying that, steady pride, try to show you every side. I'm going to give it life and write it like I already died, as in there's no secrets to keep anymore. I don't have to take any secrets to the grave. I can be completely honest, because when you are on your deathbed or are dead, right, it doesn't matter anymore. So it's just a great way of saying I'm going to show you everything and be as honest as possible. No petty fray. Every day I hail the truth. Let it spray. Never say Ka failed the youth, which is great, right? So this is an extension of what we were just talking about. Now he's just going to be honest in every single thing that he writes. I rep with the gods, got the weps and the scars. Where it ain't working out till you flexing in cars. And I think what he's saying there is, I've been there. I've done that. And when you're flexing in cars, you're basically on the wrong path. Where it ain't working out till you flex it in cars. When putting on a mask wasn't protection from scars. That's a robbery, right? Drama pacing for denomination, oppressive and large. Crooked in the town with a crew of raw people that'll put you in the ground for the root of all evil. What's the root of all evil? Technically, greed is the root of, or the love of money is the root of all evil, not money itself. That's the love of money that's the root of all evil. But, maybe that's what he's saying. It's probably what he's saying. I'm going to assume that's what he means. The love of money. Not money itself, the love of money. Kill in the building, the proof is in the bricks. We reveal in the present like the future, or we revel in the present like the future doesn't exist. And then the hook is, that's what molded me, that cold and lonely, where they call you out if they know you phony. I'm live, it's what it looked like, it's what it looks like. Let's keep going, verse 2.
Phonetic cold verse, praise God. By my genetic cold verse neighborhood. With no clear winner, still peer thinner. I don't howl like I'm holier than now, I'm a mere sinner. Wasn't blessed to be resting in the burbs. I was stressing, wrestling with the scourge. Stayed low in beef, never lived high on the hog. Not for fresh air fun, I'd have died in the smog. When hunting is nothing you got, we ain't trying to rob. Putting pressure on the jester, applying it hard. I'm live, this is what it look like. This is what it look like.
That's a bitchin' song.
This is what it look like.
Bitchin' song.
I ain't scared to die, this is what it look like. This is what it look like. This is what it look like. Yeah, this is what it look like. Yeah. I'm live, this is what it look like. This is what it look like.
Pause in there. That's a great track. Let's dive into verse 2 here. A phonetical verse prays good, but my genetic code versus my neighborhood. A phonetical verse prays good. It's like his rhymes are good, his writing is good, but the struggle is the fact that he's black and living in a specific type of neighborhood, I suppose. With no clear winner, I still appear thinner. Don't howl like I'm holier than thou, a mere sinner. Still appear thinner. Which is a way of saying losing weight. Which I think weight is a reference to drugs. So maybe, with no clear winner, I still appear thinner. I don't howl like I'm holier than thou, a mere sinner. So he's dropping the weight. He's dropping, dropping the weight, which could be so many things in that sentence. It could be, dropping, the drug dealing or whatever, which is dropping the weight. Dropping the weight of trying to carry this, loud, boisterous demeanor, this vicious demeanor, dropping that weight. And so instead of howling like he's holier than thou, he's just a mere sinner. So he's dropping that, the facade, whatever you want to call that, which would be a loss of weight. If he's quieter, you're not seen as often, so you're just thinner. I mean, there's a lot that's happening in there potentially. Wasn't blessed to be resting in the burbs. I was wrestling with the scourge. That's got to be like crack addiction and shit like that, right? Stay low in beef, never live high on the hog. Meaning don't fucking, pick fights with people for no reason. Never live high on the hog. I'm kind of interested there's an annotation here. Oh, to live high on the hog means to live luxuriously, sure. Yeah, here's a quote from the Free Dictionary. To prosper or otherwise live very well refers to the rich being able to afford the choicest cuts of meat, which is from a pig, is higher up on the animal. Oh, I never knew that. I never knew what the saying meant. There we go. Ka always stayed out of beef and never lived excessively. Yeah. If not for fresh air fun, I died in the smog. So he's got to be down in LA or something, right? The air used to be terrible down there. It's actually a lot better. And it's funny because people still bitch and complain about California and all these rules and regulations they have for emissions. And sometimes it's easy to agree with the complaints. But then when you think about why they were made in places like LA where there's fucking tens of millions of people spread out, the air used to be so bad. I remember when I was a kid, we'd go down there every now and then. It was a rare day when you could see the city when you first drop into the valley. Now it's normal. You see it all the time. Looks great. So anyway, there you go. I guess I'm somewhat siding with government regulation in the state of California. Oh, shit. What's happened? When hunting is nothing, we ain't trying to rob. Put pressure on the jester, applying it hard. When hunting is nothing, there's an annotation I can click here. Let's see if I can figure it out. When hunting is nothing, we ain't trying to rob. Put pressure on the jester. Who's a jester? A joker, an entertainer, someone who's applying it. So they're putting a lot of pressure on the jester. But the jester entertains the king. That's the whole point of the jester. So maybe they're trying to find out when hunting is nothing. We ain't trying to rob. Let's click the annotation. Let's see what they say. Oh, and now it's not going to come up. Oh, here we go. Easily impressionable kids are pressured into committing murder and robberies. This is an unreviewed annotation. Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City talks about this. That's it. That's all the annotation is. I don't know. Let's keep reading. When you step, protect your mind and chest plate. Tried years for the ideas to gestate. Progress, move into the next. The rest, wait. But in this realm, am I at the helm or is it just fate? Oh, that's a great fucking line. Protect your mind and your chest, right? Tried years for these ideas to gestate. So he's been trying to be a good rapper, a good writer for years. Progress, moving to the next. The rest, wait. But in this realm, am I at the helm or is it just fate? So at the helm is at the control of a ship, like you're steering the ship. So is he in control of where this is going or is it just fate? Great line right there. If you incline to drop the needle, you'll find cerebral. So if you listen to, if you put his record on and listen, you'll find it cerebral. They paged, get you caged. I'm trying to free you. So they paged, probably like the buddies, right? Hey, we're going to go rob. We're going to go do something. Let's, get the crew together. We're going to go do something. They're trying to get you caged. He's trying to free you. And this is fucking legit, man. This is legit. The cold and lonely. That's what molded me. That cold and lonely, where they ring your bell if they know you're phony. I'm live. It's what it looked like. It's what it looked like. All right, let's move on to track 4, which is called Mourn at Night. Come on, annotation thing. All right, here we go. Track 4, Mourn at Night.
To die when it is right to die, to strike when to strike is right.
To die when it is right to die. To strike when to strike is right. Okay. Starting to get a cool sound too. The production.
Yeah. What they render is tender, the bars bore me. Young and rich, become a miss by your sob story. My scars last, felt the law's wrath, God's glory. Path of prayers after I lived the hard 40. Cause he gone, we mourn the night. He gone, we mourn the night. No one's mixing words, vicious verbs emerged from being this disturbed. As a kid observed on curves where they twist the herb. Was rapping the present years before the gift was heard. My quarters wasn't in calm waters, the ships perturbed. I grace on balconies burned with cowardice shots. Without haste, learn alchemy, turn powder to rocks. Kept cautious, speak short and sweet by my long bitter. Wasn't shook though, I took bow and a strong quiver. It's more than troubling, same corners are bubbling. Pawns are huddling, and all of a sudden is
I really like
gone,
that.
we mourn the night.
He's saying very quietly, pop, 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 like gunshots, right? Heat gone, we mourn the night. There's still about 2 minutes left, or a minute left, but let's go through. There's a lot of lyrics here. A lot of lyrics. Okay. The mind is beginning to melt. This is good. This is good. What they render is tender, the bars bore me. Young and rich become amiss by your sob stories. So these flashy rappers with their money and all this, it does nothing for him. His, my scars last, felt Allah's wrath and God's glory. Path of bridge after I lived the hard 40. What's that though? The hard 40. The line is actually misquoted and should read, Path of bridge after I lived a hard 40. Because this refers to him feeling as if he has, after being alive for 40 years, he finally feels getting to a place where he's removed from the dangers. Okay. Oh, okay. Hard 40. Sure. He's 40 years old at the time. Heat gone, we mourn the night. So it's got this pop, pop, pop. Heat gone, we mourn the night. So another buddy's getting shot up. No one's mixing words. Vicious verbs emerge from being this disturbed. Yeah, that makes sense. No one's mixing words. Everyone's just saying what needs to be said regarding to living in this kind of environment where your friends are getting shot at night, right? As a kid observed on curbs where they twist the herb, doing weed, right? Was rapping their present years before the gift was heard. I feel like there's like so many plays on words right here. Was rapping their present years. So as a kid, on the curb, smoking weed, he's rapping the present years as in like vocal style rapping, or rapping the present years as in like, I don't know, wrapping it up inside the joint just by smoking all the time before the gift was heard. So before he was actually getting good at rapping. This next line is really good. My quarters wasn't in calm waters, the ship's perturbed. So your quarters is like your home. And if you go to the captain's quarters on a ship, that's his personal, the captain's personal room. So the quarters weren't in calm waters. The ship's perturbed because the ship's rocking around, right? It's not, there's no peace. And trying to sleep on a ship that's moving like that, you can't do it. It's very difficult. Well, some people can. I can't. I get so seasick. I grace on balconies burn with cowardice shots. Without haste, learning alchemy, turned to powder rock, sure. Kept cautious speech, short and sweet. My long bitter wasn't shook, though. I took bow and strong quiver. So the speech is short and sweet, but his long speech is bitter. Wasn't shook, though. I took bow and strong quiver. And so that's something like, I'm going to take a shot, right? I'm going to take a shot. I took bow and strong quiver. Since elfish, wasn't selfish, a born giver, until I get my slice suffice with a formed slither. Spoke with Moors, know the laws, and walk with assurance. I commence with strength, now I'm talking endurance. So Moore's law, I forget what it means. I forget what Moore's law is, which is it the conservation of energy? I can't remember. I feel so disappointed in myself that I can't remember what Moore's law is. I think it's the conservation of energy. I can't remember, but it makes sense. If that is the case, it makes sense because it rolls into the next line with, I commence with strength, now I'm talking endurance. So his energy shifts from being strong and, surviving into a long-term, no, I'm trying to live, not just survive in the moment type of thing. Felt to glean too much self-esteem to be a groveler. Okay, sure. Been a leader since toddler, teaching not to be a follower. Them days raised my sister rigid, never coddled her. I ain't popping shit, just got her doctorate, I'm proud of her. So his sister, growing up with the same thing, tough love, but it worked out because she's got a doctorate, so she's out too, right? There may be days I lead the way as a beacon, attracted by my actions, not my speaking. My battle plan was grab the hand I was reaching. From teens was taught to lean, for support was leeching. From teens was taught to lean for support was leeching. I don't know. So I stood on mine during the hoodest time, not the hardest time. Like the hoodest time is probably harder than the hardest time, right? Was a nightmare. Felt like life here was as good as dying. That's a great line too. We was born in the thorns, few arose, once a town's noose, now in sound proofs pursuing gold. Born in thorns, few arose. So you think of like, a briar patch or brambles or weeds, something that's overgrown, it's thorns, that it's not cared for. Once a town's noose. Okay, which those thorns, those brambles would strangle you to death, right? But now he's in soundproofs, so in like a recording booth, the soundproof booth, pursuing gold. So he's making records. So he got out of that. This is crazy. On the block with a rock up, nights dribbling, playing basketball. Time spent getting bent, hard to be an upright citizen. Sure. So if you're out playing basketball at night, you're getting drunk and you're shooting, it's hard to be upright. It's more than trouble is, same corners are bubbling, the pawns are huddling, and all of a sudden it's pop, pop, pop. Yeah. Same corners are bubbling. So it's nighttime, people are out drinking, they're playing hoops, they're getting fired up, they're getting aggressive, the pawns are huddling, right? So the pawns, you can think of pawns on a chessboard, but just the low-level people, right? The low level people, which is who would exist in these types of neighborhoods. And all of a sudden it's pop, pop, pop. And we mourn the night. All right, let's keep listening.
Loss of a fight means loss of a life to a samurai.
I was going to say that Cold and Lonely is my favorite track so far, but Mourn at Night is really good too, because I didn't say it. It's pretty obvious to me. Heat gone, we mourn the night, as in the body's gone cold, that person's dead, we mourn because he died, got killed at night. This outro was really quiet, so if you couldn't make out the lyrics, this is what it says for the outro. Is that any way for a man to carry on? Do you really think I want my loved ones gone? Is that any way for a man to carry on? Heat gone, we mourn the night. Heat gone, we mourn the night. I love how patient that song is. With that one, really, the sound, the production really goes well with what's going on. Let's move on to track 5. This is great. Track 5 is just called Money. It's a money symbol, the dollar symbol. So let's check it out. Track 5.
In his eyes beams the fire of ambition. His mind is a thirst for knowledge. Worldly goods are in his sight shackles to his character. Virtue is the root, and wealth an outcome.
Don't place win it, just no snakes in it. Play the grass safely, and trust every cut is nuts. Won't let them castrate me. If happen to make cash, won't let the cash make me. Regardless, I'm a guarded artist, never grab hasty. No fame, but became a favorite, cause they know I labor. That's what hard allow you market value, they overrated.
I'm going to pause it here. It looks like verse 2 is very long. So I'll talk about verse 1, and then we'll let it finish with verse 2 and 3. 3 is short. So let's just talk about this. This is pretty cool. The track's called Money. And already this is pretty, straightforward with the sample. Worldly goods are in his sight, shackles to his character. Virtue is the root and wealth is the outcome, right? Pretty straightforward there. Be who you want to be. Well, not necessarily be who you want to be, but virtue is the root, as in adhere to what you value as a person and be that. And then as you do that, as you pursue that, as you become good at that, whatever that is, the money will follow. The wealth will become a natural outcome of pursuing a life of specific virtue, of which there are many. So I'll keep it general in that sense. But, too, with the previous track, Mourn at Night, that little sample at the end, to lose a fight with the samurai is to lose one's life. But the samurai also modeled their lives after virtue. Well, I shouldn't say that because I don't know that, but let's just keep that idea of modeling your life off of virtue and the idea of wealth being an outcome, or that own virtue could be your own downfall as well. I don't know if that's going to come up later in this album. I don't know how that's going to play out, but the album starts with Conflicted, and I think that in its own way, while the track itself was being conflicted in terms of what person to be and how his mom was raising him versus how his dad was raising him, there's also the conflict, the conflict within the idea of following this path, following your own path, and then assuming good things will come from it. Because like I was saying at the beginning, if the rule led you to this, of what use was the rule, where the guy gets killed by the villain in the movie? This is so much fun. So much fun. All right, verse 1. Don't place win in it, just snakes in it. Play the grass safely. That's a great fucking line. Play the grass safely, right? Because snakes are in the grass. So you got to play it safely. And trust every cut is nuts. Won't let them castrate me. I feel like they could go so many different ways. Like every cut is nuts, as in every edit is no good, as in every track they're trying to get rid of. So I'm going to say the snakes in the grass because it's talking about money. I'm going to assume that this is talking about the record industry and, how no, you can't put that on there. Don't put that on there. No one's going to like it. So every cut that they want to make is crazy. Won't let them castrate me, being they want to cut all the songs that make me who I am as an artist, so won't let them castrate me. Every cut is nuts. Won't let them castrate me. If happens to make cash, don't let the cash make me. I'm going to make my fucking music. I'm going to stand for what I stand for, like he was saying in, I think, That Cold and Lonely Night. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to write like I'm already dead. And if I make cash, great, but don't let it change me. If it happens to make cash, don't let the cash make me. Regardless, I'm a guarded artist, never graph hasty. No fame, but became a favorite because they know I labored. That's when heart allow you market value, they overrate it. Now, I don't understand the overrated part, but became a favorite. He's got the fans that he has, even though we'll say, Ka's not the biggest artist out here. I was looking at his thing, and I think he has like 66,000 monthly listeners. Not huge by any standard, right? But his fans, I would imagine the Ka fans are hardcore fans. They love his music. And so he's got market value over that. But I don't, but it's this, so the line says that's when heart allow you market value, they overrate it. I wonder if he's talking about the music industry again. As in they're dismissive of heartful music. I don't know, let's keep going. That show is dated, slowly faded, could meet eternal, can battle hard against catalogs with one leafy journal. I like that line a lot because I feel like can battle hard against catalogs, as in an artist, we'll say a popular artist, their full catalog of albums, right? I can battle against that with one journal that I have. The one journal I have is better than your whole fucking discography. It's probably what he's saying there. Probably. Also, keep in mind, I say all these things, I very well could be wrong. This is just what I'm getting from it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but there you go. Broken Filthy, innocence safe from cloaked and guilty. That's a great line too. Because if you wore a cloak back in the day, that was usually a sign of wealth and you had some money. But if you had money, you were probably shady, right? So broke and filthy, meaning I'm not rich, I don't have a lot of money. Innocent safe from cloak and guilty. Every session respectfully repping, hope the Ville see. So every session I go and I record, I'm respectfully repping, and I hope that these people see that. My civil aims to get a little change and still be me. So I want to make a little bit of money, just still want to be me. Even if Max busting back to dust, you can't kill sheep. I need money. Interesting. All right, let's jump into verse 2.
You spent blessed winners and diamonds in the tire. Watch me blueprint rec centers. I'm trying to inspire. I'm a blitz to get rich. Feed the lone starving. Give them gift. How to fish and see their own garden. The right meals, reveal destinations, life skills. Bless the next generation with bills, right wills. I need money, not for trivial material. Just to fix our flaws, the whole cause is ethereal. What you minding for? If unaware, share with blind and poor. You telling stories is celebratory in times of war. With bars of greed, I plead. How many cars you need? When fathers bleed to fill ribs and kids that hardly read. Fuck your little rhymes and them new finds you purchase. If you ain't buying no soup for them soup lines in churches, you ain't never built. Your intermission is demolition. Jesus, peace, and cross you lost. Be men of vision. I need money, not to blink self-boast and glee reasons, but to bring health to the most diseased regions. And God we trust could bring silver lining in the ill environment. I'm finding if you really grinding, that's the real assignment. Money.
But it was soon patent to every observing mind that the ways of wealth were not the ways of honor.
All right, let's tear into verse 2. It's been blessed winters and diamonds in attire. Watch me blueprint rec centers. I'm trying to inspire. So I feel like it's a knock at people who are, buying diamonds and flashy clothes, where he's trying to build rec centers where he lives. I'm a blitz to get rich. Feed alone starving. Give them gift, hotter fish, and seed their own garden. So rather than, let's keep going. The right meals reveal destinations, life skills. Bless the generation with bills, right wills. God, it's amazing how much he can say with so few words. Feed alone starving, give them gift, hotter fish, and see their own garden. So the idea of giving people actual wealth, as in, feed them, teach them how to, not necessarily teach them how to grow food. Like seeing their own garden means you have your own property, right? You have your own home. You have your own backyard where you can grow a garden. You can learn to do that. The right meals reveal destinations, life skills. And then bless the generation with bills, right wills. Or bless the next generation, meaning it would, in a sense, to come from absolute poverty where you have nothing, to have bills and the ability to write a will means you have some amount of wealth now. If you have a bill, that means you probably have something like a mortgage, an electric bill, maybe a car payment, something like that, right? Like bills that are part of a person having some kind of actual wealth, some kind of asset, something. And, it's weird to take the idea of a bill being a sign of wealth, but if you come from, complete poverty where you don't have fucking running water or heat or electricity, to have the ability to pay those bills, to have those things, is a sign of wealth when you're coming from the absolute bottom, right? And then if you're writing a will, that means you have assets that you're handing off to your children when you pass. Bless the next generation with bills, right wills. He wants the people in his community to actually have something. I need money, not for trivial material, just to fix our floors. The whole cause is ethereal. What you mining more? What you mining for? If unaware, share with blind and poor. You telling stories that's celebratory in times of war. So this whole section here, what you mining for? I feel like this is another knock at the rappers, right? The famous rappers with all the money. Because what are you mining for? Diamonds, right? Talk about diamonds. You mine for diamonds. What are you mining for? What are you trying to get all these diamonds for? If you're unaware, share with blind and poor. You're telling stories that's celebratory in times of war. You know, there's so many people out there struggling to survive. It's a war. They're trying to survive. They're suffering in poverty. This next line is great. With bars of greed, I plead, how many cars you need? Great fucking line. When fathers bleed to fill ribs of kids that hardly read. And that line right there, I mean, when fathers bleed, who knows? That can go so many different ways, right? But we'll say that they're working so hard at whatever it is, that they're bleeding from it to fill ribs. Ribs being the kids are so fucking skinny, you can see their ribs because they're unfed because they don't have any fucking money. They can't feed them. They have to work so hard to barely feed them that they're bleeding. The fathers are bleeding from it. Of kids that hardly read, meaning the fucking environment that they're in, they have no food, they have no education. I mean, that line right there is unbelievable. When fathers bleed to fill ribs of kids that hardly read. And the line before that, with bars of greed, I plead, how many cars you need? Great, great shit. Fuck your little rhymes and the new finds you purchased. If you ain't buying no soup for them, soup lines in churches. You ain't never built. You ain't never built. Your intermission is demolition. Jesus Christ, man, this is amazing. Jesus' peace and cross you lost, be men of vision. It's interesting here, Jesus' peace. Peace is spelt like, you know, a piece of something, or like, you know, a weapon, like a gun, like a, you know, I got my peace. Jesus' peace, not peace as in a peace sign. And cross you lost, be men of vision. So he's just calling out basically the music industry and those who are insanely wealthy from their music, but they aren't using it to help the people where they came from. I admit it, never did it, because I long for cream. Cash money rules everything. Oh, cash. What is that? Cream. Cash rules everything around me. Cash rules everything around me. Great song. Because I long for cream and I see benefits, cause plenty chips will form the scene. Because plenty chips. If I gain dough, you know, it ain't a show of having more lucks. I'd be sorting so orphans can know a daddy warbucks. Who's daddy warbucks? I don't know what that is. Popular term for a rich person who covers other people's expenses. Oh, okay. The term originates from the name of a fictional character with the same name in the newspaper comic Little Orphan Annie, hence the reference to orphans. Okay. I gain dough, you know, it ain't a show of having more lucks. I'd be sorting so orphans can know a daddy warbuck. So he's trying to make money so he can help pay the bills for people who are, you know, poor. I need money. Watch what I do when I'm done gathering mine. Make many options, a few just a matter of time. Make many with options, a few just a matter of time. Hoarding, not supporting, that's how the savage shine. Hoarding, not supporting, that's how the savage shine. Your disrespect and disconnect is an average line. Your lies are crucial. They don't ride salute you. But I steal my guts about the suicide seppuku. I need money. I need money not to bling, self-boast, or greed reasons, but to bring health to the most diseased regions. In God we trust could bring silver lining to the ill environment. In God we trust being money, of course, because it's printing on the dollar bill. I'm finding if you're really grinding, that's the real assignment. I don't know about you, man, but I'm here trying it. I need money. Interesting. Great fucking song. This is amazing. I mean, everyone said, oh, Bob, you're going to love Kai. You're going to love Kai. You're going to love Honor, Kill the Samurai. Yep, I do. Fucking A. This is amazing. All right, track 6 is called Destined. Let's drop in.
3人の百姓はこの企てに命を懸けた。侍のわしにそれができぬはずはない。
wasn't made for frontin'. To bring the gauge was nothing. Static start, I had the heart to squeeze. Took less than nothing to pull it. My first lesson was never bluff with a bullet. If you show it, gotta blow it, spark and leave.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Hard to take how I roll. Went down in the gutter, stop the flow. I pop and go with the pound in the cutter. One of the streets faceless, dodging police bracelets. Draw weapons before jagged shells, don't leave traces. Badge of honor, was rolling dead bullet holes in the whip. Cops never told me freeze, cause this is cold as it get.
Oh, great line.
Wasn't
Fucking great
made
line.
for frontin'. Bring the gauge was nothing. Static start, I had the heart to squeeze. Took less than nothing to pull it.
I'm gonna pause it there. That's a great line at the end of the verse one. This hook is good. My first lesson was never bluff with a bullet. If you show it, gotta blow it, spark and leave. Fucking A, man. Hard to take the high road when I'm down in the gutter. Stop the flow. I pop and go with the pound in the cutter. Rule the streets faceless, dodging police bracelets. Good line. Draw weapons before jetting. The shells don't leave traces. Great line right there. Had the trigger right by the abs and the liver. Youngins can find some of my guns. They drag the river. So, you know, he's killing people and he's tossing the weapon into the river to get rid of it. Maximal skill, though it may appear minimal. And this line's highlighted. I'm not going to click it. Just because, well, I understand it. You know, if you're doing all this shit, if you're fucking killing people and whatever's going on, right? To do that for a long period of time and not get caught takes a lot of skill, even though it might seem like, well, you know, what are you doing? Surprised by my career, thought I'd be a criminal. Hood thieves keep me lifeless. Extra part of the strangle. Should be dead from Palman. I work harder than my guardian angel. Hood thieves keep me lifeless. Extra part of the strangle. Should be dead from the Palman. Palman, I assume, is like stealing. That's got to be right. I work harder than my guardian angel. I don't know. When this line came through, I thought, oh, I get that. But now I'm struggling with it. Hood thieves keep me lifeless. Extra part of the strangle. I don't know. If you invoke threats for prestige, don't fess. Want to juice or got loose, fresh squeeze, cold pressed. Want to juice or get loose. Fresh squeeze, cold pressed. If you invoke threats for prestige, don't fess. As in, don't confess. I don't know. I don't know. Get that out of breath phone call. My instincts loading the clips. Fighting against this is one-sided, the livest Mobius strip. I don't know what that is. A Mobius strip only has one side. So there's no way any competitor can win. Okay. So that's a Mobius strip. Oh, I see. Fights against us is one-sided, the livest Mobius strip. Okay. Badge of honor was rolling dipped bullet holes in the whip. This is a great fucking line, this last part. Cops never told me to freeze because this is as cold as it gets. That's a great line right there. All right, let's keep going. Verse 2. I was more excited about that verse 1 than I was very excited about it, but I thought I'd pull more from it than I did. And, you know, there's something happening as I'm starting to settle into this guy's style. There's a lot of stuff that he says between the lines. There's a lot of like implied words. There's a lot of just stuff that exists in the depths between what he's saying. There's a lot of words he leaves out, but they're there. And it's kind of interesting too, because, you know, he doesn't like have like a strong delivery or flow or anything like he's just kind of doing his thing. And I'm fine with that. I like his style, but it's interesting that with this calmer style and the way that he writes, I can get some of the implied meaning, even though when I stop and try and break it down in real time like this, I struggle with it. But when it's flowing, there's something different happening. When I'm just listening to him go, I don't know if it's a combination of him and the production or just the style or what it is, but I can feel more of what's happening in the song lyrically than when I stop and kind of switch over to an analytical mindset and try and break it down. It's interesting. Let's keep going with verse 2.
Missing hope before rhyming, winding down vicious slope. So feel if you diss a quote, you a misanthrope. Cause all I witness here, fitness and riches spoke. I'm giving the gift of no, pray the wicked croak. The sound rolls from drogas, his crown jewel. Only judgments that I love it, never found cruel. Might be worthy and drawn, but worthy to throne. Seeing bring them clean kingdoms from the dirtiest home. Amongst the dark vermin, while our hearts yearning. 2 tenths to pay attention in class, it was hard learning. Don't discard what I carve, I don't whittle nothing little. All my niggas pump for big chunks, fuck the kibble. So to honor their memory, I charm the assembly. And realign whole design with this ominous remedy.
Virtues are no less contagious than vices. There needs but one wise man in a company, and all are wise. So rapid is the contagion.
Let's see, does that actually spill over? No, it doesn't. Okay. That little sample is not written down here on the Genius page, which is too bad. Verse 2, man, there's a lot going on that I didn't really get. So let's just kind of read through it. Missing hope before rhyming, winding down vicious slope. Missing hope before rhyming. Okay, so he doesn't have hope before he starts doing his rapping, and he's going down a vicious slope because of it. To feel if you diss a quote, you a misanthrope. I forget what that means, misanthrope. Because all that witness here, fitness and richer spoke. Because all that witness here, fitness and richer spoke. So you feel if you diss a quote, you a misanthrope. See, it's talking about quotes and witnesses. If I knew the meaning of misanthrope, I would probably be in better shape trying to figure out this line right here. You're given the gift of note, pray the wicked croak. So note, that's got to be money. The gift of money, pray the wicked croaks. The sound rules from Droga's crown jewel. I don't know who Droga is. Only judgment is that I love it, never found cruel. I might be wordy and drone, but worthy the throne. So this is kind of like a joke at himself, right? I think maybe he's just kind of cracking a joke at himself. I might be wordy and drone, but worthy the throne. So, I might be kind of like me, right? I talk a lot, but worthy of the throne. Satan bringing him clean kingdom from the dirtiest home. Amongst the dark vermin, while the heart's yearning, 2 tenths to pay attention in class, it was hard learning. Yeah. Don't discard what I carve. I don't whittle nothing little. I like that line. Don't discard what I carve. I don't whittle, because whittling is a form of carving. All my people pump for big chunks. Fuck the kibble. So I don't want little pieces of food, right? I want the big chunks. So to the honor of their memory, I charm the assembly and be a lie. Hold design with his arm and his remedy. I don't know that one at all. The hook is really good. Wasn't made for frontin'. To bring the gauge was nothing. Start static. I had the heart to squeeze. Took less than nothing to pull it. Cool tracks. All right, let's keep moving. I didn't realize we're an hour and 20 minutes into a 36-minute album when there's still 4 songs left. So 6 songs took 80 minutes. Good stuff. All right. Track 7 is called Hours. Let's check it out.
These seconds, these minutes right here, you know what they belong to? Us. That's why they call them hours. This took sacrifice, much loss before the game paid a drastic price. Misfortune and disdain framed a
cool
shattered
production
life.
here.
The forfeits and the pain, all the saddest sights. The coffins and the stains. On days wish I could save the children that we was. Be there to spare their eyes from all the killers and the drugs. Stepping and protecting them from feeling any slugs. Heart was ice for that cream, trying to school money. Now breathe for seas, whether you throw dirt or roof for me. These seconds, These minutes are hours.
Wow.
These seconds. These minutes are hours.
Some great lines in here. Great wordplay. It took sacrifice, much loss before the gain. Sure. Paid a drastic price, misfortune and disdain. Framed a shattered life, the forfeits and the pain. I like that. Framed a shattered life. And I mean, that's a pretty straightforward, simple line, but I just, for some reason, that one just sticks out because I think of shattered glass with a frame around it, you know? All the saddest nights, the coffins and the stains, right? So people dying, the blood stains on the, cement or whatever. On days I wish I could save the children that we didn't spare the eyes from all the killings and the drugs. So little kids just seeing all the shit happening. Stepping in, protecting them from feeling any slugs. So they're at least trying to keep them from getting shot, but they didn't protect the eyes, right? So that's an interesting thing in the sense that they're trying to protect them physically from not being shot. But with the eyes seeing everything that's going on, there's still, it's kind of the same effect in a way. They're not being protected in that way. And so they're still, not physically dying, but you could almost say mentally they're dying. Many ways mediate the savior healing any grudge. Actually, let's, where the fuck am I here? Let's just start from the beginning. On days wish I could save the children that we didn't spare their eyes from all the killings and the drugs, stepping in, protecting them from feeling any slugs. Many ways mediate the savior healing any grudge. Because in and out the lab bouts was bad, so habits grew. Because in and out the lab bouts was bad, so habits grew. Lab bouts, that's got to be, I'm just going to say like cooking up crack or meth or whatever, right? The bouts were bad, so habits grew. The steel cold, you don't grow real old acting new. That's an interesting line. And that one, that could go a lot of different ways. The steel's cold, you don't grow real old acting new. So the steel probably being the gun. If they don't know who the fuck you are, they're gonna blow you away. That kind of thing. If in the context of approaching like a lab, wherever they're cooking drugs or getting drugs ready, like if they don't know who you are, the fucking steel's cold, we're gonna kill you. So you don't grow real old acting new. And you can count from all my accounts, the stats is true. That's a great little line right there. To think some was tickled pink when we was beat black and blue. That's an interesting line. A knave to say we show it sympathy because I know essentially all the dastard actions that was happening I was meant to see. So again, this is kind of back into this whole destiny, fate kind of thing, right? I feel like Ka, the individual that is Ka, feels like his past, his own life was something that he is supposed to carry forward and, tell people about, warn people about, share his story, so on. Like there was a reason for it. Dug a lot of work when I was broke and inoperative. Felt a lot of hurt before I spoke this provocative, great line. Heart was ice for that cream trying to scoop money. Tons of wordplay there, right? Tons of wordplay. Heart was ice, so it's ice cold. Heart was ice for that cream, ice cream that you're trying to scoop. You scoop out ice cream for money. Cream is also money. Cash rules everything around me. So lots of wordplay happening there. That's a great line. Now breathe for seeds, whether you throw dirt or root for me. That's a great line too. Now breathe for seeds, as in his whole point, the whole reason why he's alive is to try and plant these ideas. Whether you throw dirt, which a seed still thrives in dirt, or you root for me, and the root is a seed taking root, right? Like that's great. Fucking great. Good shit. These seconds, these minutes are hours. This is a good track too, man. I mean, I've got hearts next to every track, but this is really fun. All right, let's keep going.
From crooked boy to honest man, the lad is gone. I speak promised land. The common plan Babylon. My thwarted thoughts, faced for years, probably ran marathon. I care to say if I ever sail away, the plan's Avalon. Then for all the days I spent positioned in the basement. Feel I had to heal myself, physician and impatient. This earth's home for all the wrong, my rift with immigration. I boast to learn my culture before I picked assimilation. But now knowledge power, this is semblance, evidence shown. Walk with ghosts and close family and friends, I'm never alone. Like these seconds, These minutes are hours, these seconds, these minutes are hours.
So accept this, not for its intrinsic value, but as a token.
These hours are hours. Make better place. Mine, yours. It's our time. It's the good shit. Fly shit, real shit.
Pause in there. That's the end of the track. It's gonna be really fun listening to this album top to bottom without pausing because everything just feeds right into itself. And so I feel like listening to this, it's gonna be 36 minutes that are just gone like that. This outro was pretty quiet again. I'll read it here. These hours are ours. These hours, how do you pronounce it? I'm getting all fucked up. These hours are ours. Make a better place. Mine, yours. It's our time. This, that good shit, the fly shit, the real shit. Build. Fuck all that destroying. Let's live. Yeah. Lots going on in verse 2, of course. From crooked boy to honest man, the latter is gone. So the honest man is gone. I speak promised land, the common plan Babylon. Now, Babylon was in the Bible. They were going to build the tower. And then God cursed them by creating all these different languages so nobody could understand each other. And then they couldn't complete the construction of the tower that was supposed to go. Is that right? Oh, maybe I'm fucking way wrong. Let's read the annotation. Babylon was a major city of ancient Mesopotamia. It was once the largest city in the world. The common plan is the promised land, which is Babylon. He brings high hopes, one that he could share. Only an honest man can speak of that, where the crooked boy that he once could not. Okay. I thought Babylon, the Tower of Babylon, was where they were trying to build the tower up to heaven. It was after the flood, right? After the flood and Noah and all that stuff, they decided we're going to build a tower so that God can't destroy us. And then Babylon or Babel, I don't know, maybe I'm just fucking way off. It's been a long time since I've gone through the Bible. Long time. So I won't speak to that annotation. I'll just leave it be. My thwarted thoughts faced for years probably ran marathon. I care to say, if I ever sail away, the plan's Avalon. I don't know what Avalon is. Avalon is the mystical island from the legend of King Arthur. It's the place where the sword Excalibur is forged. Okay. Also references the Enya song, Sail Away, which talks about sailing away to Avalon, Babylon. Okay. I vent for all the days I spent positioned in the basement. Feel I had to heal myself. Physician and the patient. Great line right there. Was urged home for all the wrong. My riff with immigration. I don't know what's going on there. I boast to learn my culture for I picked assimilation. Cool line right there. Not going to assimilate into American culture or whatever you want to call it. He's trying to learn his own culture. The dose of lies. Up close you'll find raps they wizen. The dose of lies. Up close you'll find raps they wizen. At most they rhyme to gross. Mine's appetizing. Okay. So at most they rhyme to gross, as in like your net gross, your income, right? Mine's appetizing. So great play on words there because gross is talking about money coming in, but it's also a spin off of the idea of it being disgusting, which, you know, obviously for Ka, his point of view, it is disgusting while he feels that his own writing is appetizing, you know, it's appeasing. Peep the God, though, I speak a hard flow of argot. I don't know what argot is. What's argot? Is it annotated down here? Argot is a type of slang, secret language used by various groups to prevent outsiders from understanding. Okay. To steal for a meal, but for real, I used to starve, though. I like that. Peep the God, though, I speak a hard flow of argot. To steal for a meal, but for real, I used to starve, though. The routes I scored, I doubt the Lord ever condone. Steps was reckless, repping for precious metals and stone. But now knowledge, power, this semblance, evidence shown. Walk with ghosts of close family and friends. I'm never alone. Good shit. That line, but now knowledge, power, this semblance, evidence shown. I feel like that can be really this combination of his writing, his lyrics, his production, the album, the tracks, you know, using his own knowledge as a way to not necessarily gain power, but empower his own life. And then walking with the ghosts of close family and friends. He's never alone. This is great, man. This is so much fun. All right, let's move on to track 8, which is called Illicit Fields. And here we go, track 8.
大感謝のご死者がかにも二名参上死者の工場は
I don't know. There's no translation here, so I don't know what he's saying.
何貴様たちも何者だ死神
Did a crisp 1-2, cause never had a wish come true. Odd for knots, can't fix or undo. Pound a gauge, I was rapping the Ville. Around the age when your records get sealed. Food determined my mood, never expected a meal. In the hustle, muscles played out, respects and still. The larger caliber,
Cool production on this
traveler. Place merch on your earth on part of inhabitant. Those that show smalls want no parts of my cohorts. Loaded pros expose your whole farce. With biggest skill to make a mill, risk 1,000. Shooting llamas, no futures promised, just for now. Wild out here near Illicit Fields. We either gripping steel or missing meals.
Badass, dude. Badass. All right, here we go. This opening line is already great. Did a crisp 1-2. Never had a wish come true. In a crisp 1-2 would be like a mic check, right? Mic check 1-2, 1-2, right? Never had a wish come true. Well, what if his wish was rapping and being successful at making music, and now here he is? And so it's almost like, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe this wish came true, type of thing. Opt for Knox. Can't fix or undo. A pound a gauge. I was repping the Ville around the age when your records got sealed. I don't know what that means. It's annotated. A reference to the sealing of juvenile court records. Of course, I was thinking of like music records. Which can be sought once a person becomes an adult. Okay. Yeah. So your records are sealed because you're not an adult. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. So he was repping the Ville with a fucking shotgun before he was 18. Food determined my mood, never expected a meal. Great line. And the hustle muscles played out, respects in steel. So muscles played out, right? There's no use in being all big and strong in a fight. Doesn't matter. Everyone's just fucking packing guns, right? The larger the caliber, the harder the traveler. Place merch on your earth, one part inhabited. I don't know. Applauded my raw, that's why I'm sport bagging her. I think that line means, whoever he's banging is just because he's so raw. I guess, I don't know. Anyway. I think there's the raw line might be a double play on wording there too. Because I'm sport bagging her, right? Just hitting up this girl for fun. Pitch fam, bring your hitman, I'm all haggler. Hard as novelist, carving this marvelous. If not, they loving this. The governor's pardon us. What? Pitch fam. What is that? Oh, there's a movie. Okay. Oh, maybe not. Let's see. Let's just read the annotation. References to the famed bout between Marvelous Marvin Hagler and Tommy Hitman Hearns. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Many live infirm, got a written prison term. Live infirm with a written prison term. And yeah, they're in jail for a while. They'll be living there for a while. Harsher sentences, word, live and learn. Used to tag on the rag, glad I ain't get the germ. I feel like that's a line about sex. Used to tag on the rag, glad I ain't get the germ. And maybe, not get an STD. Oh, this makes sense. So if the girl's on her period, then, she can't get pregnant. So then he doesn't want to use a condom. And so he's, used to tag on the rag, glad I ain't get the germ. So you're not using a condom. Now you're not protected against STDs. So he's just, basically lucked out. He didn't get the germ. Okay. Oh, and then this makes the next line make sense because I didn't really get it. I missed it. Despite tests, some night sweats a bit concerned. Don't be scared of me. So that's a funny line. He used to bang these chicks when they're on their period, so he didn't have to use a condom, and then he started getting these weird night sweats. That's funny. Don't be scared of me. I know the real's rare to see. A square is what your peers appear to be. Great line. Those that show smarts want no parts of my cohorts. Loaded prose expose your whole farce. Great fucking line. And it's misspelled here because Genius has it spelled prose as in like short for professional. There should be an E here because prose is, you know, your written word. Loaded prose expose your whole farce. Huh. And then the hook. Whip bacon skill to make a mill. Risk a thou, shoot the llamas. No futures promised, just for now. Wild out here in the illicit fields, you either gripping steel or missing meals. Hate's well known. Since young, I feel the shit. Born with a snub. It's that love I'm unfamiliar with. Wild, man. Let's drop into verse 2.
I would drive still alive with fresh motor. If K round the playground, recess over. Go for mine since the time code was twine. Call for book, the soft, the hook, open line. Virtually so thirsty, my eyes watered. Served on curbs where they bought it. No God's lauded. I wrote flesh, the soul death is morbid. Was on the scene, you only seen what press reported. Since young, I feel this shit. Born with a snub. It's that love I'm unfamiliar with. It's that love I'm unfamiliar.
I like the production on this too, man. The music has been really cool so far.
Yeah, I've been meditating.
Coming from the pen of some well-known warrior.
It's time to get acquainted.
Arrive would drive still alive with fresh motor. If K round the playground, recess over. I don't know what K is. That AK? Short for AK? I think so. Go for mine since the time cord was twined. Call for book. It's off the hook. Open line. What's this? This is annotated. The time cord was twined is a reference to the cutting of the umbilical cord soon after birth. Okay. The umbilical cord is tied off or clamped. Okay. The same idea is featured in the hook for Jungle from the 2013 album The Night's Gambit, where Ka rhymes, born in the jungle, out the womb running, better move young and predators soon coming. I don't understand the reference there. Okay. Oops. Virtually so thirsty, my eyes watered. Served on curbs where they bought it. No gods lorded. I wrote flesh, sold death is morbid. Was on the scene, you only seen what press reported. Great lines. So there's something served on curbs where they bought it. No gods lorded. That's got to be talking about prostitution, right? I wrote flesh, sold death is morbid. Virtually so thirsty, my eyes watered. Served on curbs where they bought it. No gods lorded. So, you know, if you're thirsty, you know, there's a girl, she's fucking hot, right? You're totally into her. Which is, I mean, if you're a prostitute, you want to look as good as possible. Standing around the curbs. Served on curbs where they bought it. No gods lorded. I don't really understand that. I wrote flesh. Sold death is morbid. I don't know. I roam, park is home, far from safe haven. Walk with grace on my waist, the face raven. Walk with grace on my waist. So the first thing I think of is a pistol, but I don't know if that's the case. The face raven. Face raven would be like face is black. Like raven, it's raven, its face is black. Park is home, far from safe haven. Of course they aim for a safety, let it flight. Masada horrors stay from broad day to deader night. I don't know what that is. Masada horrors. Huh. Good shit. Good shit. Oh, we're going to hit. We're at hour 45. We're going to hit. This is going to go over 2 hours. A 36-minute album is going to take over 2 hours. That's going to be my fucking new record here. Every track's got a heart. I've enjoyed every single one so far. I think this album is just going to be one of those types of albums where you put it on and you let it play because each track dumps into the next one so well. So let's move on to track 9, which is called Finer Things. I can't pronounce it. Finer Things / Tamahagene. We'll say that. That sounds good. All right. Track 9, Finer Things.
Yeah. Just want to find the things, man. Committed grimy street crimes. With Nab, homie, you don't know me. Deny me 3 times. I go into the forest to pray, temptation racing, hoping this make it harder to stray. I stole from Peter, never paid Paul. I pocket profit on corners, waving that 8-ball. For a few, that's the cue. They stumbling, son. For the thrill, fist full of bills and crumbling some. Say goodnight at first light, or when bundle was done. Got beef? You ain't coming with none if ain't come with a gun. And young, you ain't come with a gun if ain't come with a drum. They say it's royal in my blood. They say it's royal in my blood. They say it's royal in my blood. Toy with mentally for centuries, not toil in the mud. The luck of most was not to survive them fucking boats on the land of Mother's Coast. Should've been cutting throats. I go into the forest to pray. Temptations racing, hoping it's making harder to stray. Harder to stray.
This is incredible shit. So this intro is great. Committed grimy street crimes. If nabbed, homie, you don't know me, deny me 3 times, right? So if the cops catch you, you don't know me, don't fucking rat me out. And deny me 3 times is Judas, right? Not denying Christ. So a good little play right there. I'm going to the forest to pray, temptations, and that's not what Jesus did. Jesus went out in the desert, the 40 days, 40 nights thing. Maybe that's a reference to that, maybe not. Temptations racing, hoping this make it harder to stray. But basically, he's just going to remove himself, right, and go meditate and pray and all that stuff. I stole from Peter, never played Paul, which is a great reference to. I don't think that's biblical, but people always say, borrow from Peter to pay Paul, which means you're barely getting by to pay your bills, type of thing. I pocket profits on corners, waving the 8-ball. For a few, that's the cue. They stumbling, son. For the thrill, fistful of bills, I'm crumbling some. Say goodnight at first light. Know when bundle was done. Got beef? This is a great section right here. You ain't coming with none if you ain't come with a gun. You ain't come with a gun if you ain't come with a drum. So if you've got beef, you better bring a gun that has a whole lot of fucking ammo. For a friend of me, I'm public enemy and come with a ton. Uzi. Villainous monsters feeling accomplished. Stealing from paupers. Illin from Tilden to Gompers. I don't know what the fuck that is. Going wild in public housing projects from Samuel J. Tilden houses in Bronxville, Brooklyn to Samuel Gompers houses of Lower East Side. Okay. Incidentally, Brownsville and the Lower East Side are among the 7 New York City neighborhoods that account for almost 75% of New York State prison population. Wow. Fuck, man. Dream to push something mean, drive off with dimes. Till that day I pack a tray, the sidewalk is mine. What's a tray? Dominance in the street will eventually be cut short by a prison sentence. Packing a tray is a reference to lunch trays in a prison cafeteria. Okay, that makes sense. So dream to push something mean, drive off with dimes. That's a play on words because you want to drive something that's mean, right? So if you've got a shitty car, you're pushing it because it's broke down. So your dream to push something mean, drive off with dimes. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'm kind of reaching on that one. Just another predator, dreading the smug competitor. Cold hogs before I show love. Vetted it. I don't get that. Cold hogs before I show love. Those that pump meds bump heads for knots. Streets need a procedure for the bloodshed to stop. That's a great one too. So those that pump meds bump heads for knots. If you bump heads, let's see here. There's a lot happening here. Pumping meds, maybe you get all crazy and you start like fucking headbutting each other and all that shit, and you get knots in your head from your banging your head, right? But the knots are also used on a tourniquet to stop blood loss. And when you do that, there's like a procedure, not like a procedure, but there's a way of doing that, right? The streets need a procedure for the bloodshed to stop. So I feel like all of that is like tied into itself there. And, a tourniquet is a way of stopping gross amounts of bloodshed, right? In the hood, only violence understood, so it's got to be years wasting central potential. No one was proud of me. Plans to change that, but the strange fact, crews that move white soon lose sight of where the reins at. And so reins are control, for the horse, and that's how you steer your horse. If you lose the reins, you lose control of the horse, in a sense. So crews that move white soon lose sight of where the reins are at, so they lose sight of what they're trying to do, and they just lose control. Then there's this whole portion. He says it 3 times. They say it's royal in my blood. And I don't know what that's about. He says it 3 times. Toyed with mentally for centuries, not toil in the mud. The luck of most was not to survive them fucking boats, which is great, right? On the land of Mother's Coast should have been cutting throats like the clans in Japan when Kubla came. Splash on the surface with passionate purpose in lieu of the fame. So the luck of most was not to survive them fucking boats. So think about people like coming from, I'll just say Cuba, right, to Florida, trying to get to America. The luck was not to survive the boats. It's to survive here on the land of Mother's Coast. Should have been cutting throats like the clans in Japan when they were basically invaded. And I don't know. I feel like I've got all that wrong. Let's see. The mind is melting right now. Or almost 2 hours into fucking breaking down lyrics. So let's move on. Let's keep going to verse 2 here.
Yo, bequeath for speech, where's defeat to reach? Scrape for math, never late for class and streets to teach. This is coke and herbs, spoken word. What you folks observe is what brokenness spurred. Healers no submerged, still the most preferred. Get poked and purged, where the copers merged. All focused on them hopeless curves. Got bread, we pull a heat, toast is served. One of the last, never flash cash, show reserve. In front of them triggers, figures get exposed as herbs. Streets may be EKG, hearts are tested. What I weep is too deep to chart domestic. This fantastic,
nice.
handcrafted artisan brew was casted and mastered for a marvelous few. One of the finer things. I did it all for the finer things. The finer things. I did it all for the finer things.
So it drops into this part 2, which is the Tamahagene or whatever. Let's just check out verse 2. Bequeath the speech, where's the fee to reach? Scraping math, never late from class, the streets to teach. Scraping math, never late from class. So he's ditching math class. This is coke and herb, spoken word. What you folks observe is what brokenness spurred. Bequeath the speech. Where's the fee to reach? I feel like, okay, there's no annotations here, but I feel like bequeath the speech, where's the fee to reach? I feel like he's talking about the idea of like a speaking fee. You know, there's events where there's a speaker and you have to pay to go and listen to them. And instead of getting paid to speak, you know, he's asking, where's the fee to reach? As in, how do I pay money for people to hear me? Maybe. That's the only thing I can get from that. Scrapping math, never late from class. So I'm never late from school because I'm ditching math class. The streets to teach. I feel like I'm fucking that up. This is coke and herb and spoken word. Oh, I'm sorry. This is coke and herb, spoken word. What you folks observe is what brokenness spurred. Illest notes emerge, still the most preferred. Get poked and purged where the cope was merged. Where the cope was merged. As in like coping with something. All focused on them hopeless curbs. I don't know. Got bread, we pull the heat, toast is served. Want it last, never flash cash, show reserve. Oh, interesting. In front of them triggers, figures get exposed as herbs. And that I didn't really get. I forget, herbs is like a, I learned this when doing the MF Doom's album, The Food. Food. Because the beer track, where it was like, where'd all the beer... Oh, fuck, I can't remember it right now. And I'm going to butcher it because my brain is so focused on this. But, you know, he's looking for the 6-pack. And like 3 and 4 were stolen by an herb or something like that, which is like a friend who's kind of a loser. So in front of them triggers, figure get exposed as herbs. So they're just kind of weak and lame, I guess. Streets made me EKG, hearts are tested. EKG is, you know, the measurement of the heart. When you do like a EKG, they put all these things on. They make you do stressful exercises to see how your heart performs. This is a great line. What I weep is too deep to chart domestic. That's really good. Really good. It's fantastic handcrafted artisan brew. Was casted and mastered for a marvelous few. That's great too. Truly there's beauty in this ugly. Scared to put seeds in the uterus that love me. That's a interesting line. Growing, knowing my roots indeed rotten, producing bad fruits, all my family's trees dropping. Good shit. Good shit. All right, let's move into this part 2, which is the Tamahagene. And it looks like it's a sample. Here we go.
Heaven is about to confer a great office on anyone. It first exercises his mind with suffering. It exposes his body to hunger and subjects him to extreme poverty, and it confounds his undertakings. In all these ways, it stimulates his mind, hardens his nature, and supplies his incompetencies.
If no jewels can't use, ain't worth the time. All the sounds I call down, urge to climb. Motion picture, scripture, every song scored. They want grief, unsheath the long sword.
Wow.
Hindsight of the fights I've endured. In my twilight, getting right with the Lord. Getting right with the Lord. In my twilight, getting right with the Lord. Got the gift and the doors to count.
Wow.
Got the gift and the doors to count.
So the sample, when heaven is about to confer a great office on anyone, it exercises them with suffering, exposes the body to hunger, extreme poverty, confounds his undertakings, and all this way it stimulates the mind, hardens his nature, and supplies incompetencies. And that's a very important sample, just because if you think of Ka and his mindset so far in this album of kind of reflecting on his life and all the things that he used to do and trying to turn that into something positive. Even in this song, there's beauty in all this ugliness. Yeah, there's beauty in this ugly. So then, gotta walk this plight, drop gems, got friends every walk of life. Instigator said, fuck all that talking, fight in my park, all bark, we were forced to bite. Fought the best, any less though, light shit. Cold since they left that hole with the ice pick. And I don't really know what that means. I mean, I know what it means, but I don't really know what it's referring to. Hearts don't flutter in the gutter, hate necessary. Great line, right? When you live in this kind of environment, you have to rely on hate. You have to be fucking hard and tough. You can't let your heart flutter and be full of love, right? Propped in a rock in a hard place, pressed very. Great line, man. Great line. So it's just, you can't expose any kind of love. If no jewels can't use, ain't worth the time. All the sounds I chord down, urge to climb. If no jewels can't use, ain't worth the time. I feel like this is like somebody you're gonna rob. If there's no jewels, can't use them, so they're not worth the time, right? Don't even try bothering to rob this person. Maybe. All the sounds I chord down, which is short for record, urge to climb. So I feel like the songs that I make, I'm urging these people to move beyond this. Motion picture, scripture, every song scored. They want grief, unsheath the long sword. I really like that line. And I think about a long sword. I don't know why. And I haven't clicked the annotation yet, but this just popped into my head, the image. Maybe it was the cover. Because, there's something written on that tombstone on the cover. I don't know what it says, but I was thinking about a long sword that has writing on the blade, and maybe the writing is all the people that's been killed by the sword, like the names of the people that have died by that sword. So you want grief, unsheath this long sword, and I just pictured this long sword that has all the names of people that have been killed by it. It's hindsight of the fights I've endured in my twilight, getting right with the Lord, getting right with the Lord, getting right with the Lord. Actually, let's click the annotation for they want grief, unsheath the long sword. On the surface, it sounds like a threat consistent with the samurai imagery of the album. He prepares his weapon, sure. But in effect, Ka reaches for the pen to share his past traumas. Oh, okay. Sure. Similarly to Jizza, who was partly responsible for Ka's artistic revival in 2008, Ka equates the sword with rhyming and penmanship. Jizza also explains an illusory protections. We call it a sword style because we are lyrical assassins and we're aware that the tongue is symbolic to the sword. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Grief features prominently in the Ka's music and even appears in the title of his 2012 Grief Pedigree. Okay, that makes sense. I'm glad I clicked that. That was a good annotation. Who's the contributor? Let's see. Killer tape search party. Good job. Yeah, good shit. All right, let's move on to the last track. 2 hours and 3 minutes in. The final track is called I Wish, Death Poem. Should be interesting. Here we go. Kind of feels like a closer, huh? For sure.
We ain't have to live like this. Wish for a new life when I blew out them candles. Cause in them cruel nights, knew I was about to scramble. A little crook to get them hooked, threw out a sample. 5 soldiers against high rollers, the crew out to gamble. If them crackers are blitz, catch the package I pitch. You can quote me, it won't be a slap on the wrist.
Wow.
But that's the risk, when you wish to rack in the bricks. And you getting in for whipping the caps and the zips. Flexing them ounces, destined to stretch in the mountains. Defenders not represented by the best of the counselors. The infantry symphony, for revenue but telling you, this ain't how it's meant to be. You and your peers, prime years, ignored your core. Grinding gears, for cheers here, trying to score for more. Can't see, serving to the peace, became Lord of War. Holding controller was rolling in the corridor. If anything moved through, who you? Fuck you want. Aggressive but finesse is how to pull a toughest stunt. The highs getting money, never had to puff a blunt. For the record, it's source checkers, you get huffed to jump.
Nothing ruffles the equanimity of his spirit. In the heat of battle, he remains cool. In the midst of catastrophes, he keeps level his mind. We admire him as truly great, who, in the menacing presence of danger or death, retains his self-possession. Such indulgence betraying no tremor in the writing or in the voice, can compose a poem under impending peril or hum a strain in the face of death. Death.
All right. We have a shit ton of lyrics to get through here. Wish for a new life when I blew out them candles. Was in them cruel nights. Knew I was about to scramble. A little crook to get him hooked. Threw out a sample. 5 soldiers against high rollers. The crew out to gamble. So he's tossing out a little sample, right, of sale to get him hooked. And then it goes further into the story. If them crackers blitz and catch the package I pitch, you could quote me, it won't be a slap on the wrist. Let's click the annotation. Cobb moves so much weight that if the cops raid and seizes drugs, he will do substantial pop. I don't agree with that. If the crackers blitz and catch the package I pitch, you could quote me, it won't be a slap on the wrist. I feel like there's something here we go. Let's keep going though. But that's the risk when you wish to rack in the bricks and you're getting it for whipping the caps and the zips. Flexing amounts is destined to stretch to the mountains. Defenders not represented by the best of counselors. I feel like my takeaway with this is this whole idea. Okay, yeah, he tosses a little thing to get him hooked. Threw out a sample. 5 soldiers against high rollers. High rollers. The crew out to gamble, and the high rollers in this situation are white. And if they catch the package I pitch, if they get hooked on these drugs, you can quote me, it won't be a slap on the wrist. So I think what really is being said here, let's just assume this is a true story about selling drugs and all this other shit. Let's assume that they ran into some white folk that had a lot of money and they got them hooked on drugs. Well, let's not say that that did happen, but the scenario being that idea. And if these rich white people, will just assume they're fucking younger crowd, right? If their parents find out, they're going to fucking press charges and all this shit, right? And there's going to be an actual punishment that comes with it rather than the zero consequence that goes with getting black kids hooked on crack. Does that make sense? The poor people getting hooked on crack, there's nothing that happens. But because these are high rollers and because they're white, there'll actually be consequences to it because people will care. As awful as that sounds. And I'm not saying that's the right thing or anything like that. That's what I'm getting from this. So then you can quote me, it won't be a slap on the wrist. He'll get in actual fucking trouble for it. And then you get further down, defenders not represented by the best of counselors, meaning yeah, the state will provide legal legal representation for you, but they're shitty. They're just bad at what they do. And that's probably part of the system of, throw these people in jail. So we'll bust them, and then we'll make sure that their defender, their public attorney, or their public defender is really bad at his job. Oh, man. All in one stack from jump packs, hastily diminish. Running lower, done with before... Running lower, done with before the case even finished. All in one stack, jump from packs, hastily diminish. Running lower, done with before the case even finished. But I swear I ain't hear a word of this wheeling and dealing, feeling impervious. When it's steady sling, fuck everything is the mantra. I never said a thing, just let it ring through Contra. I feel like maybe he knows somebody that got busted, and, I don't know anything about it. I never said a thing. I never said a thing, right? When it's steady sling, it's fuck everything is the mantra. Fuck everything is the mantra. I swear I didn't hear a word of this. I feel like somebody he knows got busted. Wheeling and dealing, feeling impervious. When it's steady sling, fuck everything is the mantra. So who cares? We're making all this money. We're not going to get caught. Maybe it was a sting. Maybe that's what it was. You know what? So this, I completely disagree with this annotation. I think it was a sting. 5 soldiers against high rollers. The crew out to gamble. If them crackers blitz and catch the package I pitch, you can quote me. It won't be a slap on the wrist. So the blitz, the word blitz, like what happens, right? Okay, go. They've got the warrant, or you always you see the stuff on the TV shows, whatever, where the cop is bugged, right? The undercover agent is bugged, and when they hear the words "how much for this" and like the transaction happens, then they come running in. So I feel like it was a sting. I never said a thing. Okay, let's keep going here. I nest hate, hold heat so weak in my best shape. You press fate, press late, it's your death date. I feel like this line right here, you press fate, press late, it's your death date. If you go too far, right? You're going too far. You're testing fate. You're going too far. Get down for the crown, even if it got thorn. Fights are final when might is primal, we lock horns. The crown and the thorns, it's easy. That's Jesus reference. This other one, I don't know. Won't dupe the block. You shoot to stop. No shots warned. Never slack. Cause attack. Because attack first time we spot yawns. That's the infantry symphony. For revenue, we're telling you, this ain't how it's meant to be. You and your peers, prime years, ignored your call. Grinding gears for cheers. Here's to trying to score more. Can't see certain of the peace, became Lord of War. Can't see certain of the peace, became Lord of War. Holy controller was rolling in the corridor. If anything moved through who you, fuck you want. Yeah, aggressive, but finesse is how to pull a tougher stunt. The high is getting money, never had to puff a blunt. And that's pretty straightforward. For the record, it's saw as checkers. You get huffed the jump, trying to kickstart when blitz hard, rush the pump. Pack heat, too big for the backseat, bust the trunk. And if men caught, they taught to hush for monks. Never know me to fear, only veneers is the custom front. I think it was a sting. I don't know this. Holy controller is rolling in the corridor. If anything moved through, who you, fuck you want. So like somebody's in the hall. Who are you? What do you want? Aggressive but finesse is how to pull a tougher stunt. The high is getting money, never had to puff a blunt. So it's like this guy shows up. He looks like a high roller. He's there to get drugs. Trying to kickstart when blitz hard, rush to the pump. And then all of a sudden the fucking cops are coming, right? And so there's somebody running for the pump, the shotgun. Pack heat, too big for the backseat, bust the trunk. I don't know. But it's interesting. 2 hours and 14 minutes. Fucking A. And you know what I was noticing just now? Like, just trying to read, I was struggling. The brain. Oh, the poor brain is definitely smashed right now. It is melted. Now I'm going to jump right into Donuts by J Dilla. I'm going to finish this up. I'm not even going to do closing thoughts. I honestly, if I tried, I don't even know what the fuck I would say. Great lyrics. Kind of difficult sometimes. He puts this gap in the writing. You know, doesn't use full sentences. Doesn't really take the time to fully explain. Just kind of throws it out there. Kind of like, instead of painting with a brush on the canvas, he kind of like flicks it onto the canvas. So it's still there, but you have to see implied lines and all this other shit. Fucking, it was great though. This is really cool. I'm really looking forward to just listening to this, because this was a lot of work, like really diving into the lyrics. I almost have a headache. But it's good. It's a good kind of headache. Like, man, I can tell the old brain's been working. That was fun. Great album. Really cool. The production was pretty good too. I wasn't expecting a lot, and it's not that the production is very active, but it just felt appropriate. So often it felt appropriate, especially with that samurai aesthetic theme going on, and just that idea in general. Yeah. All right. Let's jump into donuts.